Welcome back to Battletech Oath of Endosteel, Season 3, Episode 330, 38, Part 2. It has been almost 2 months since our last episode. So Patreon, you can celebrate today. You know, we're finally back. I guess the regular audience, you can celebrate in 1 week, although for you it will be today. So I guess celebrate whenever you feel like it. We have returned, and we may have regularly scheduled episodes. Our fear that Sam would not be able to join us has been unfounded. Although he could suddenly disconnect and his computer set on fire during this episode, so you know,
you never know. You really just never know.
I mean,
I will be a little blocky, you know, moving slowly on the camera, but I think we're all right. I think we're all right.
It's popular. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's happened to each of us at least once. So I think it's about time Sam joined us and the computer exploding club.
It's popular for people to watch Oath of Endosteel by like binging it over the course of 2 months or something. And I see people who do that and they're like, oh, I can't believe you had to remind yourself of what happened last episode, you know? And I was like, it was like 2 months, guys. Give us a fucking break, okay? So even though you may have just seen it, let me just remind our cast members here what happened last time. I'm going to say the name, 2 different names, and I need you to contain yourselves. After I'm done talking about this, we're going to have a scene with Private Investigator Duke Dick, who has been sent to the planet Valentia in order to find out the authenticity of an offer from Captain Idaho, Rhode Island, Kentucky of the Confederate-class dropship Louisiana Purchase. He has wanted to enter into the service of the Baroness Khan and extended, as long as he could get amnesty, he would switch sides from the Draconis Combine, essentially. You wanted to know whether he was an honorable man and this was a legitimate offer, and you dispatched the only private investigator whose name has ever been mentioned on this show, so, you know. You also are meeting with 2 jump ship captains. As you go forward, you are planning to go after the victory at La Mancha and also the Tesoros dos Dolos. In the process, you need to choose between Captain Dawson and oh Jesus, Captain Guen? Did I not write this name down after planning this for like weeks?
There was one that looked better on paper but had like a bad reputation, and one that like looked worse on paper but like didn't have a bad reputation, if
yes,
I remember
so
correctly.
Captain Dawson runs a very tight ship and is like a former military captain. And oh my god, I can't believe I can't find these notes. Captain Guen is I think saying a free-loving hippie.
I have it. It's Captain Dawson, and it's Captain Seon Yoon Nguyen. Seon Yoon Nguyen.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so the Captain Dawson is the militant, expensive pain in the ass.
Well, that is...
Those were my notes, AP. That's
that
all
is
I'm
a
saying.
description.
And the other one is a shag carpet, less expensive, or sash carpeting, less expensive, with issues with air supply, or has something with an air supply.
But it raises its own food on board the jump ship, drop ship combo.
Oh, right.
It has its own.
It's a family jump ship, whereas the other one is a military style.
Yes. And there was one more issue of note. I don't know if
Political
you
parties.
don't technically have a noble title, Mr. Hiroka, but
yeah,
what name are we going by for? Is he claiming Hiroka as his last name now, like publicly, or?
No, because he wouldn't want to. He wouldn't dare make Kamari be that stressed out.
Okay.
No.
So it's just Yusuf then.
Yusuf, yeah. Where was he born?
He was born here on Whittington.
Right. So I guess he would be. What would be the name of the? All right. What's the
He
name of
does
the?
not- on
What is the
paper, he
bastard?
doesn't
Okay. What is the Game of Thrones bastard term for the Heroican Highlands? That's the question.
There's way
Corn?
too many
Yusuf
planets in the
Yusuf
Federated
Wheat?
Suns to have such a thing.
Yusuf Wheat.
Wheat? Okay. All right, Yusuf Wheat. I mean, by claiming that name, then you are indicating that Yusuf is in fact of noble birth and mercenary
Yes.
mind. Okay.
Yes.
All right, that will be something to talk about.
Oh yeah.
You have
He's not claimed Heroican. He's not claimed the name Heroican though. That will come later. That is part of the plan.
Now it's just going to be the question of whose noble line were you issued from?
True.
You have a battalion's worth of command and support staff and 4 Mechwarriors / tank. So you've got about 12 times the support personnel you need to run your unit right now.
Right.
You have an upcoming security gig with your good friend, the Count.
Yeah.
But you got to make a decision as to whether you're going to cut a lot of these people loose or you're going to plan on expanding the unit. Are you picking anybody up to go with you to get unit cohesion retraining done while you're on a dropship voyage for who knows how long, you know?
Well, I don't have the money for it. That's
you
the
know,
problem.
the great part about being a mercenary is you could take massive loans.
Really? I could
You've
be in
been
debt?
pretty successful so far.
Yeah.
You know, you've spent years fighting.
Phrasing.
This is your first time on the back foot. You've got a creditor.
That's true.
You know, you can put it all in the Count's name.
I'm not sure I want to put it all.
Count McDougal?
Yeah.
Of course,
I feel
we'll
like
open
can
the
I have a
vault
scene
to
about
you, sir.
can I have a scene with McDougal about it?
Please. There are many directions we need to go to today. We will have that scene immediately after this scene.
For sure.
It's dark and raining in what appears to be a traditional, like, that part of Tokyo that's set aside with shrines and like a whole street that looks like a Shinsengumi inspector could jump out behind a corner at any moment and be like, hey, stop wearing a sword. You're under arrest. That sort of deal. We see a mysterious figure cloaked not in a haori of any kind, but a trench coat and a large fedora hat, which has been pulled down, the rain pouring around him as he self-narrates. It was a dark night in a city that never slept. Duke Dick was on the job once again. When you come to a planet like Valentia, you're going to find yourself hunted. The ISF was already on to me. They had somebody on my trail, but I knew who it was. And then he turns and pulls out a very small pistol and points it into an alleyway, and someone walks out and takes off a scarf off their head and says, so it's you, Duke. I knew it would be. And he goes, Irene, it's always you. I knew they'd send somebody, but I didn't know it'd be you. And Irene says, of course it was me. You think you can just leave me at the port like that? And he says, look, Dame, I'm sorry, but I had to get off world quick. You know I love you, babe, but a gunshot goes past his head. And he goes, look, I swears, I'm only here to find out more information about Captain Kentucky. And she goes, Captain Kentucky, this goes so much deeper than even you know. And he goes, well, I don't have time for any of that, babe. And he pulls a flashbang that he's already, taken the pin out of and just drops it in the street between them and starts running away. We get him, like, spread eagle jumping into a river. As he continues to self-narrate, I was blinded by the light, but also by her beauty. It was clear to me that this was not going well, and that the story to Captain Kentucky had more to it than perhaps even I was prepared for. And the saxophone goes, ba-ba-da-ba-da-da. And then we cut to whichever of the scenes you all want to do, because there's certainly a lot to be done before you leave. And I forgot to mention, Sam needs to decide whether he wants to do something with the government before he leaves in order to keep
or
his...
just leave a massive power gap with no instructions.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing about these
Months.
political parties, right, is that some of them would love the status to be quo. You know what I mean?
And
Others of them are
it's-
less quo about the status. They're like status unquo.
I mean, it's been 7 years. I kind of have a feeling that, and feel free to chime in on this, but like you've set up systems to maintain the status quo without your presence.
Oh yeah. It's not like he doesn't have staff and isn't like delegating and stuff, but like let's not forget that like
I'm more just thinking rules.
a not small portion of his like top executive staff is coming with me. Like you're also leaving the planet. Like Anko is like one of the key sort of like mid-level or like top level executives that he would delegate to.
I mean, she's the head of the secret police, so
right. Yeah, like there's work to do. There's things to kind of tidy up. I don't know. We can do the one Eric was suggesting first.
All right. Where does it take place, this meeting about money? The worst topic to have between friends.
Yeah. I feel like Sam holds all the cards here. So like where would Sam take a meeting knowing that this is a golf course kind of discussion to be having, but I don't feel like McDougal is the golfing lad that we would expect, right? Like
Lachlan
Jasper
probably. Lachlan, I think we established that Lachlan plays golf. He's just much worse than Jasper. If I remember correctly, Jasper is like a very good golfer, and Lachlan was like an exceptionally mediocre golfer.
Yeah, but golf just isn't really your color, though. Like you would only do that if it was like a performative thing, like because you had to, because like Jasper would like basically bring like cajole you out. It wasn't. It doesn't really. It never really seemed like your bag,
Yeah. Also like Lachlan's not like a out and out asshole to him, but he definitely doesn't see Yusuf as being on his kind of same level in the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd probably just have you like come to his office.
Right. Okay.
Like
the government office.
People who have favors they want to ask and come.
So your corporate office at the space station, or your political office in like Parliament or whatever.
He obviously uses it for both. I'm just trying to decide where he would have his seat of power. He would probably have it in whatever like government building he created as like part of like establishing that like large kind of
right. Okay, so that's where we're blowing our CGI budget.
Executive department. Yeah. So it's like
so in the background,
like government building with he's always trying to like reinforce the idea that he's in charge of the government, right? So it's separate his office from that.
Yeah, so it's like Stringer Bell's high rises when they're being built.
Oh my God, Stringer Bell! The 20th anniversary of that show's coming out.
Dude, that show's still relevant. That's what scares the hell out of me. That's the worst part.
I gotta be honest.
Anyways,
like the first set of episodes are. You don't have any idea what's going on, and it's super boring. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, it's like, "What the hell? The show's amazing!"
I know.
Stringer Bell's just like, "Are you taking notes on a conspiracy?"
I mean, that's like season 4, but okay.
That's season 1.
Okay, wait.
No, it's not. Okay, anyways,
actually,
that's a prop show in the co-op. Anyways, that doesn't matter. Let's go.
It is.
I think
Sam, let's have this scene before we run out of time.
But real quick, I think this building, like. The like architecture style would be like supposedly like supposed to evoke like Kerensky era in the same way that like a lot of like classic American government buildings are like supposed to obliquely like be like sort of Greco-Roman in style.
Yeah, neoclassical, but this is like neo Star League.
Starleaguian. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Neo-Terran, neo Star League.
What that actually looks like is probably some like total mishmash of like what we would recognize as like various Earth architecture styles, but.
That's why we call it neoclassical, because those buildings were not white. Like the Greeks painted that shit, but by the time we found it, it was white. So like, oh, they had white buildings, so we're gonna have white buildings. It's all just like a fake false perspective of history. Yeah, same thing.
Anyway, so Lachlan's like probably at his desk, like I think he's probably like taking phone calls or something, and he like would definitely
All right.
have Yusuf like come in. And
My 11
sit down
o'clock's
and
coming
wait.
up. I'll talk to you later. Yeah. Sir, Duke Dick is trying to get a conversation, get a meeting with you. Be like, I'm busy.
Yeah,
Anyways,
exactly.
Right. I come in. All right. I'm obviously dressed in a nice suit and stuff. Lachlan, thank you so much for taking the time to see me today. I know you're a busy man. How are you doing? How are the kids?
They're well. Everything is well. Busy time getting ready for this last adventure I'll be taking off world. What can I do for you?
Yeah. Well, perhaps I could help you with future adventures.
Oh?
Yeah. I'll be straight with you because you know my past and you know my record. I'm looking for a loan from you, Lachlan. Trying to build out a mercenary company. I'm prepared to offer you generous kickbacks on any revenue, any extra credits that I grab. You also have my loyalty. But
Real quick, out of character, remind me, didn't Lachlan like invest in it? What isn't Lachlan in some way like helping back Yusuf already?
yeah, I'm asking for more money.
Am I making that up?
No, I think that's right. But
you've hired Lachlan to be your defender on the upcoming mission. So where Eric says he doesn't have any money,
right.
he definitely has some money, but you know, it's not enough. You've paid for, you know, a lance of protection, essentially, and you can't buy a mercenary company off of a lance's worth of protection money. You know what I mean? He needs to invest more to make more.
I see what you're saying. So I hired him and now he's looking for, yeah, okay, all right. I'm just trying to make sure I was on the same page.
Yeah.
So Lachlan will kind of lean back.
Wait, can I say something? Yeah, can I say something to sweeten the deal here for a second? As you're mulling it over, sitting back in your chair? Because I would say, now you know me, I'm not like any other mercenary. I was born with a noble mind. I know what hand feeds me, which hand I should never bite.
It's not a bad pitch.
I might be a wolf in combat. I could be a loyal guard hound to you.
You have to understand, Yusuf, the price of this isn't just going to be loyalty, it's going to be your independence to some degree. If you're going to tie yourself to me in this way, I'm going to need some sort of insurances. I don't know that I can give you a loan. But what I can do is give you venture capital. I want a piece.
Oh,
I'll make your money troubles go away, but I want to own part of the company.
And I think you see me like shuffle a folder on another folder, like I was prepared for this arrangement. Well, I'm not someone who enters into a duel without studying my opponent. I planned on as much, and I present you a portfolio of plans for you to pick over of whatever the negotiation arrangements would be.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that we need to like talk through like
no, not at all.
Of, like,
no,
what's being invested and stuff. Because
the point is that you say yes, though.
Yeah. But I think like what I want to kind of
ensure.
No, narratively, not even necessarily sure, but like no, it's like what kind of deal is Yusuf like looking for? Like, is he kind of like in the interim, like looking for pretty advantageous terms, or is he coming here like really kind of tail between his legs and is just going to kind of give up the farm right away? You know what I mean? Like, is there an intense negotiation over this, or is it kind of just like Yusuf knows that it's Lachlan's way or the highway?
No, I definitely present it more like it's Lachlan's way or the highway. I presume that our rapport goes back enough that I could know what you would deem acceptable and know my position.
Yeah, okay, that totally makes sense then. Then yeah, I think Lachlan agrees pretty quickly. And I think actually like as you like hand over the term sheet or whatever, like Lachlan like reads over it quickly. And you kind of see like sort of a slight smile growing on his face, like as he's reading it. Maybe we get kind of like a glimpse of the older Lachlan that was like kind of ever grinning with, you know, that kind of plastered on grin that he sort of lost after his wife died, and he became a little bit more solemn as he's kind of like realizing like that Yusuf sees their relationship in the exact way that he sees the relationship and was hoping to. And so he like looks up with the smile and just says, "You're a wise man, Yusuf. This is an excellent deal. I can paper it tonight. I'll have my folks talk to your folks. Make sure that you have everything that you need, both for this mission upcoming and to succeed in the future. Money is no object."
Absolutely, of course. And you've signed the paperwork or whatever, fold the thing, and we handshake.
Yeah, sure.
Lovely.
Lachlan will definitely shake. I think he's wearing like gloves or something like really like unnecessarily ostentatious as usual.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do that, bow to you, and head out. Cool. Good stuff.
But hold on. The scene continues.
Okay. There's more?
Your 11:15 arrives. Captain Lucille Bordeaux of the local militia forces.
Captain Bordeaux, please have a seat.
I step out of the way for the captain.
Yeah. She acknowledges your presence, but it's clear that she finds a mercenary meeting with the head of the planetary government distasteful, as it's her job to defend this world. You've seen this look before from other clients. I mean, it's not like she shoulder checks you or anything, but she just moves around you as you move around her. And she moves to sit down.
I give her the deference, you know, and I get out of her way for sure. In terms of a power struggle in the room, I definitely would back down.
She waits for you to close the door and leave before she discusses classified military matters.
For sure. The door closes and the session theme song plays. I got you.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Nice pull.
Yeah.
Count, it is my understanding that you are going to be leaving this world soon.
I'm going to be
Is that a death threat? Sorry.
Awesome. Yeah, Lachlan is just like, I think he does something like a lot like what I just kind of did, where he kind of like looks up and away and says, "One last trip off world to settle old loose ends that need settling."
I expect that we will be able to maintain order here for some time. I've still got my men tailing Sir Davies. Are there any security arrangements I need to know about? Any changes to planetary protocol before you depart?
There is something that you should be aware of. I'm planning to invite the Duchess along with me. She needs her horizons broadened. She needs to see more of the world before she rules Whittington. A narrow world view of the world beyond our borders will lead to a lack of appreciation for what makes Whittington great.
She pales slightly, but just gives you like a side glance before returning her head to narrowly rigid straight on and says, "Sir, are you sure it's wise to bring a 15-year-old girl on what could be a military operation?"
How old was Jasper the first time he went into combat? Because wasn't he 18 and already a war hero?
Yeah.
I mean, Jasper was raised to be a mech warrior, and he started his mech warrior training at 16, which, you know, is where a lot of nobles and mercenaries get it. I mean, she's not ready for that kind of training yet. And Captain Bordeaux just gives you a look and says, "It is the privilege of Whittington's First Company militia to serve our Duchess, Count."
Bordeaux, you realize I won't always be around. Genji won't always be around. Her support system won't always be around. These are hard times, and hard times require strong leaders. I need to make sure that when I'm gone, Whittington has that. And when the Duchess is ready to take control, that she can rule this place and allow it to flourish and continue its upward trajectory. I think people forget how recently the current trend on Whittington has begun. I don't intend to let us slip back into an agrarian blip in the Draconis marches. I intend to make sure that the Duchess Harmony Lakes family rules for 1,000 years and 1,000 years after that. We don't do that by making easy decisions and allowing her to grow up as a hothouse flower, unable to withstand wind and rain.
I will be reporting this up my chain of command.
I expect that you will.
Okay. Just to be aware, you are in her chain of command. She's going to send a protest to you, essentially. That's what she's saying. She just wants it on record.
I think like probably like the rest of the day is like a lot of versions of that scene, right? As like Lachlan breaks this news to like all of the various people in the government that he has to break it to before going to even talk to the Duchess herself.
I have a question. Are you bringing Miss Samantha Wilson-Jones with you? That is your contact, and some would say political advisor, other would say minder from the Draconis March. She works directly for the Sandoval family.
Yeah, I can't decide whether it's better to leave her here or have her with me because they're both kind of fucking terrible options.
Yes. They're both bad options.
I think.
Do I leave her?
I mean, if you want Lachlan, like this is, I think, an area in which Anko would, as head of your secrets police or special intelligence unit.
I mean, we can call them secret police. That's what they are. Like, let's not like sugarcoat anything about this. These are his like fascist enforcers.
Yeah, and I feel like over the years, Anko has become like almost desensitized to it, of like some of the things that she's asked to do. Because you know, she had like a generally warmer heart than I think Lachlan did. But like with the traumas that we've both been through, it's kind of like whittled down to like I'm here to like protect and serve, and kind of fell back to like her old ways, not as a leader or not as like her house leader. But yeah, I think Anko would come to you throughout that day, like as you're kind of having those conversations and thinking about that one person also, that do you bring them or do you not? And so yeah, I don't know if you have a scene for it, but
yeah, that works. Well, I mean, if you got a scene in mind, I am open to it.
Okay. Yeah, so Anko comes to you, and I feel like this is a more impromptu, but because it's Anko, you like obviously make yourself available.
Yeah, I mean, if Anko shows up at his office, she like takes the meeting, right?
Right. And I think she just approaches bringing something like she always brings something to your office, like something interesting, like a little tidbit of information, or maybe like a new import, kind of like as a gesture, a gift, as it were, that she always brings to you. Lachlan, I realize that there's going to be a lot that we need to ensure is maintained while we're off-world.
Yes, we'll need to keep an eye on the Davies family as well as Tamari during this time. I don't really anticipate anyone else doing a whole lot of shaking things up. Most of the nobility are sufficiently understanding of their role in these things now.
In this order that we have created, yes. That said, some may still get bold. And as such, I think it's wise that we keep those enemies that we know have potential as close as possible to those we can trust, to keep an eye on them. And I think there's a proposal of kind of not kind of like of matchings, and AP, I'll need your help on this just because it's been a bit since I've thought about the different families. But basically my intention here is that there's kind of the extreme loyalists kind of buddying up against the factions that are trying to buddy up with them, the factions that are a little bit more,
I think for you,
distant.
rather than the kind of expansive political overview that I've given Lachlan McDougall, Anka would know that the real primary threat to power from her perspective is Badger.
Okay.
He has actively been taking out a mech in defense of protesters to ensure that they are allowed to protest. And the local riot police, sure, they can deal with, spraying people down. Yeah, like they can deal with protesters. They could even deal with a couple of guys with rifles. But hundreds of people that are sheltered in the shadow of a Battlemech, fully armed. The only thing that's perhaps holding Badger back is that his son is warded by House Haroka and is being raised as one of their children. That has not slowed his progress, but he also hasn't taken extreme actions against the government. And there's no sign that he's particularly disloyal to the Federated Sons or the Federated Commonwealth. He just doesn't like the direction that the government is going in. The local government is going in. So eliminating him, according to all of your analysis reports, eliminating him would solve a lot of problems. Removing his Battlemech would allow the secret police to swoop in, grab all of the leaders, disperse all of the protests.
Yeah, so I think it's a proposal of like that buddying up, and then highlighted is the removal of Badger, or in some way, shape, or form, whether it be sending him off world through some sort of charade for a long period where he just mysteriously disappears.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because Lachlan had a pretty particular plan for that, and that was to Lachlan is going to like look at this and just go, "What do you think about Badger coming along?"
It could cause tensions, but also it does.
If I can't win him over,
give us the opportunity to do that.
How long would we be? We're going to be gone for like over
Months.
a year, right? Or like months.
It's not clear yet. You haven't talked to your jump ship captains. It could easily be years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lachlan will say,
how do we entice him?
Well, I have an alternative, but I'd like you to make a roll, Eddie.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be either protocol or some form of knowledge nobility.
I'll do protocol.
Okay. This is a 13.
All right, so +7. That's a 5.
12.
+7, 12. I'm going to re-roll this 2.
Very well.
Did it. 13.
There is an alternative claimant to the knight seat that Philip Davies currently occupies.
Yusuf?
Jasper Haroka was asked to make a choice between two people. He was asked to choose between Philip Davies and his cousin Marianne Getsuga as to who would take the knight spot. And Jasper kind of made the decision off the cuff because Philip was a better shot and Marianne is the better technical performing pilot. He wanted a good gunner.
Sounds
this
right.
is not set
right, because
well.
it was just a choice between a 4-3 and a 3-4.
This is not set well with Marianne, and she's been stewing in silence for years. She's gone unmarried. She has continued her vocational schooling and become a pretty fairly well regarded assistant mech tech. She's basically like the chief supervisor of the government's mech bay complex. She is certainly a skilled mech pilot in her own right, but there are mutterings that she wants more, and that title would certainly give it to her. If you were to have Lachlan push forward this alternate claimant, Philip could be held in check by his cousin battling him for the seat.
So I'm guessing here, AP, that you're suggesting also that Anko may have that information and pass that forward, or is that something that
Anko definitely has that information.
Yeah, so I think you see kind of the three proposals of like, here are your biggest threats while we're off world, based upon the information and intelligence that Anko has gathered, and potential solutions to those problems. It's a very typical like Anko meeting with you where she's like, hey, here are your problems, here's what we can do.
If you've got a problem, you know that Anko can
To
solve
my
it.
understanding,
Please no.
on this trip out into the periphery, we need both pilots and mechs. I say we bring both of them. See which one rises to the top.
I do like this idea.
I can handle talking to Davies. If I can't convince him to come off world with us, well, then we'll have to find some sort of other arrangement. I'm sure you can figure something out to make sure he goes away.
Yes. As I said, we have these potential solutions. Obviously, having him with us would be more beneficial because then we can turn him. He is a good pilot. And what was the name again of the woman, the cousin?
Marianne Getsuga.
And Getsuga is a skilled tech and pilot, valuable in multiple ways, and has no love for those that dissent against us.
I'd rather not have to ruin Philip Davies if I don't have to.
Yes. I will set it in motion then.
So
I'll arrange a meeting.
what is the plan here?
It sounds like the
Lachlan's
plan.
going to talk to Philip to try to convince him to come.
And would I have like good authority of like if I offer to Setsuga that this mission will like grant her favor from Lachlan to elevate her status if she proves herself against
That depends. Are you
Davies.
lying? Do you actually have the authority to extend that to her?
I don't think I mean,
that
authority,
is kind of the plan.
but that is kind of the plan
that Lachlan pitched. It's just like, let's bring these two people, see which one emerges as the more like loyal, valuable person.
Yeah,
and then
I think
get rid of the other one while we're on the periphery.
I think it's a white lie of like, we're not actually going to extend this, but there's the potential, right? So it's like we have the ability to do that, but it's we may not keep up to that, depending on the situation.
We're gonna need to make a roll to see how shrewdly she sees through your bullshit. You know, she is a professional vocationalist who works with Mechwarriors on a regular basis. It's like working with fishermen. She's used to hearing about how big the fish is and knowing from having to clean the fish how big it actually is. Yep, my time on that course, 57 seconds. Oh, I scored so many hits with my medium laser. And she's just sitting there going, medium laser's disabled, boss. Still got to get those repairs in there.
So, I mean, I can go with, well, yeah, whether or not you want Lachlan to do a roll first for Davies or myself. I think negotiation, acting. You
all tell me which meeting you're going to have. It's not just going to be a roll, but there will be a roll during the conversation.
Why don't we have Anko do her part first? Because I feel like we've been seeing a lot of Lachlan, and I'm hearing my own voice too much this session, I think.
Marianne is a busy woman. She holds a pretty high rank for someone who's only 25. So if you send her any messages, it doesn't matter what your title is with the planetary government. She insists that you come on down to the mech bay to meet her for whatever your business is.
Sure. And I think Anko's one of those savvy people that she knows. She has like kind of tactics and ideas about how to approach someone and get on their good side to lean into the favor of what she wants.
That's great, because this woman is used to people attempting to do that, and it pisses her off.
Yeah. And I think, well, I mean,
when you arrive, what you see is 12 mech stalls, all filled with mechs in various levels of either repair or reconstruction.
Sure.
Dry erase boards are everywhere. We can see which techs are on duty, which techs are on call, which Mechwarriors mech it is. Everything is filled out with even greater than military precision.
Nice.
Any order that's given is given a second time to make sure that it's heard. The order is repeated back, essentially. It's like, I hate to say medical drama, but the one thing that they do get right is that when you're passed a tool, you say what the tool is so that the doctor is very clear that that's what they've got in their hand. There seems to be a very strict, when you're on and off shift, breaks have to be taken regularly. I think we see somebody that's just like, all right, Johnson, take 15. I need you to get off this mech right now. I don't want to be speaking to your union rep. And call your goddamn wife. I'm tired of hearing about her at the station.
Can you give me any technical specs of some of the machines that are in these bays? In my intention here is that Anko has the tech empathy feat or whatever it's called. And so like innately she has connection to technology and understands it.
A lot of enforcers, some griffins, at least one awesome. And it looks like someone has disassembled half of an Atlas and put it on the other half of a Galaglass.
Dope. Yeah, so I mean, and what are some things that I would know about this person and like the things that she appreciates and hates? Because I would know if she hates people coming at her in like that dishonest, salesperson
look,
way.
You can tell from this setup that she likes order, rigidity, solution-based problems. She's an engineer, not a people person.
Yeah. Okay. So she's like, don't waste my time. Get straight to the point. Tell me what
you
you're
would
going to
know
bring to
that
me.
just from her,
Yeah,
just
demeanor.
from her calling you here rather than the other way around.
Yep. So
this would be like if this is essentially like if under Barack Obama, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton had to go see her car mechanic to talk about an opportunity to join the government.
Oh my God.
That's what's happening here.
Doesn't she already work for the government?
I mean, in some ways, yes. I mean, she works for the civilian government as a tech. She's not like a government official or anything. She's a mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
She's a supervisor
but she's
of mechanics, but yes. She's not a bureaucrat. Let's be really clear here.
No, right. She's not a bureaucrat, but she's like, she's like a civilian mechanic that works for the Department of Engineering or something.
In an even more libertarian government, she would be a contractor.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so I mean, Anko, knowing this and not wanting to waste time, I think finds a moment where she's not in the middle of something, like just finding that gap of interjection where they make contact and says, I have a proposal for you. I know what you want or what you've wanted for some time. If you come with us off worlds, we can grant you status that you've wanted for some time. Basically, straight to the point. Do you want to talk further?
All right. Listen, Rosie the Riveter is what you're looking at here. All right. She's jacked. And she's covered in mech oil and grease. She just takes her hands and wipes them off and goes, yeah, the government's going to grant me banana vanilla ice cream because that's what I've really been craving for some time. All right. Sorry, what was your name, lady?
I'm Uncle Khan.
Yeah, Baroness Khan. Look, let's talk in my office. I'm not sure this mech bay is suitable to one with the same blood color as you.
Then let's do that.
The air conditioner is questionably working in the office. And let me be clear, the mech bay is spicy hot. Right. Their engine's exposed to open air, their heat sinks aren't working. Right. It's a giant metal cage to begin with.
Uncle's not used to it. It's been some time since she spent like any serious time in the mech bay, but
there's certainly no slouch here, but these people spend every day in this environment working with caustic chemicals and such.
I think there's like a moment of like flashback to the war and like her mech bay that was totally like the only thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everything around it was obliterated in this small sliver of it. And she just like remembers her office as she enters the door to Marion.
She pulls a water bottle out of a mini fridge, puts it on the table in front of you, and then gestures to it like, oh, you can thank me for that. That's her. She doesn't say it, but she gestures like, this is a big deal.
Yeah. I think there's like a slight smirk, very, very, very subtle, and then just takes the water bottle, opens it, takes a sip, basically letting go of this ego that this person may think Anko has.
Lady Anko Khan, Director of Special Intelligence Operations, what can your department do for me?
We are about to embark on an off-world mission that, if I understand it correctly, should you come with us, you will have the opportunity to prove yourself against someone you've had a quiet rivalry with for some time.
Define opportunity.
Should you perform on this mission, you will be granted a status of knighthood.
Define performance.
This would be, I think, something where there's maybe a conversation with Lachlan about kind of their intention with this person and kind of the goal, the signals. Like, it's kind of like the interview process, right? We're looking for signals of this person. Is it loyalty to Lachlan? Is it like skillfulness and usefulness? In like these different categories, maybe, or some other factor. So I think this is kind of like one of those negotiation / like pre or preps that maybe we discussed in that meeting. You're muted, Sam.
Like what the most important things to Lachlan are?
Yeah, kind of like the top 3 like signals that we're looking for.
What's the number one?
Loyalty, competence to Lachlan.
Okay.
Probably like
maybe like maneuvering or ability to either like befriend or like change the attitude of their opponent. So maybe like this is me suggesting something of like a criteria that we're looking for. If they can win in a couple of different capacities against Badger, right? That's kind of my thinking is like, what are some win criteria against Badger, as well as obviously loyalty to you and just general competence?
I mean, frankly, those are the main things in this scenario. Like the only reason Lachlan cares at all about Badger is that he is causing him problems.
Right.
Like he doesn't need somebody who's like particularly anything. He just needs somebody to fill that spot that isn't against him.
Got it.
So
okay.
That's why he like doesn't really care if like winning over Badger is also a win to him. He honestly maybe would prefer to just win over Badger because he still feels pretty guilty about the fact that he got Jasper killed, and Badger is one of the few like remaining portions of Jasper's kind of enduring legacy. It's the same reason why he has trouble like going against Tamari, even though Tamari is kind of becoming a bit of a thorn in his side. It's like, while like he probably has the ability to just like crush any authority that Tamari has, it's like he feels really guilty. It's the same reason like he's
Machiavelli is just sitting there going, "Oh, what are you doing, my guy? What are you doing?"
Oh, I mean, but that's like the whole thing that Lachlan always was, is like he was always like a very arrogant, self-centered person, and like the part of that is that like the 2 people that he was closest to who both died, he has a lot more leeway for like folks like Anko and people like Tamari because he feels pretty responsible for his friends' deaths.
It's kind of that like central flaw to Lachlan of having that arrogance that then led to a tragedy that makes him feel guilty. So now it's kind of like a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like maybe like his like guilt in this scenario is maybe one of the few like actually good things about Lachlan as a human being these days. But
still the redeeming quality, right?
A flaw from like a strict strategic perspective in his ruthless takeover of the government, sure. A flaw as a person, maybe less so.
So I think Anko would present. You show yourself a team player, competent in your skill sets, and ability to outmaneuver your opponent.
All right. She puts her elbows on the table and then points to you with one hand and says, "I don't have to show you a goddamn thing. I've already proven my loyalty. I've already proven my competence.
Then you have
I'm
nothing
here,
to worry about.
aren't I?
Then you have
Why
nothing
don't
to
you
worry
just
about.
replace him with me, here and now? You want to earn my eternal loyalty and gratitude? How about you show me a little loyalty and gratitude?" You don't have the authority, do you, man? You talk a good game, but I don't think you're as powerful as you think you are. Should I be talking to the boss?
If you don't want to join us, then I'm sorry, but it is too late for you. this was an opportunity to meet the big boss, as it were. To get to know him.
There are
even
so
more.
many holes missing in this story. I am deeply uncomfortable with this. Let me tell you something first. What mech do you think I'll be working with on your little trip? You're aware that one needs a mech to be a mech warrior, correct?
We have several to choose from.
We have fuckloads of mechs. We just don't need pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's still waiting to hear what is being assigned to her.
So, I mean, do I have an idea of her preferences? Because I think that would guide kind of like the offer.
I think from what you get from her competency returns, from reports, is that she has a preference for light and medium jumping and scout mechs. She is a excellent mech handler, although not particularly good at sorting through intelligence data.
Okay. So
right in with us.
So like, would she lean towards the grasshopper or a hammerhand? Because I think those are the two main
if she
ones
had
that
to
are
choose between them, the hammerhand that has the jump jets would probably be.
Yeah, grass
even that's still quite heavy for her.
That she could.
Grasshopper's too heavy.
Medium.
Both,
you do?
Both are heavy
jump?
mechs.
Yeah, that's kind of my thinking was
She
like
wants she needs a griffin, a wolverine, something like that, right?
I mean,
a wolverine, a crab would also be good for her. Badger's
crab doesn't have jump
specifically
jets.
Doesn't need to. She just
I
she wants the crab.
Can a crab have jump jets?
You can customize. You guys have a mech bay. You can customize mechs.
Oh my god.
I mean,
let her pilot one of the.
There, you can get a crab with umus on it for underwater movement.
Would I be able to acquire a griffin, a nice griffin? I know it's been 7
not
years.
a nice griffin.
You definitely can't acquire a griffin on short notice.
Well,
with
hold
your
on.
finances.
What about I have an extra hunchback laying around. She could take that.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I was more just thinking because the griffin was something I wanted to get anyway for my fleshing out. But I know it's been years. That's why I was thinking.
But
oh yeah.
She can't drive it yet for like 5 more years. So.
So yeah, might as well get some miles on it.
Yeah, like, it's just sitting there.
But like, just from my own perspective here, it's like, why wouldn't she want to fight and be a part of a noble house?
Yeah, I am a little confused as to like why
she just doesn't. You guys are like,
hard to get.
You need to prove something, and she's like, I don't have anything to prove. She wants you to make her primero uno right now and overthrow Badger.
And I mean, I see her
you
point.
You can prove yourself by going on this months-long journey somewhere else on a very uncomfortable jump ship voyage. She's like, no, do it now. Do it right now.
Yeah, I feel like that's maybe.
Look,
well,
she likes solidness and results.
Right.
You are offering her a possibility on an ephemeral thread that involves jumping through hoops and social negotiations. This isn't her jam for this. She wants the spot now. I'm just telling you how it is from her perspective.
I get it.
We're coming to the point where we need to make a roll shortly.
Yeah, and I think the final statement or maybe like the Anko realizes kind of where this is headed, and says, "You have proven yourself in many areas, and you're right. We could just do it now, but we want to."
She nods when you say "but" because she knew it was coming.
Yeah. Well. But we want to extend this offer as a way of understanding the next level that we can expect from you. And I think there's like Anko came with this contingency in mind, where it's and AP maybe like let me know if this is something that would make sense in terms of negotiations. But I'm imagining like having like documentation prepared and just needing a final signature or something like that of like should she come with us, it's all said and done. She's already gained some level of knighthood. Does that make sense?
Does she gain the knighthood as soon as she signs it or when she returns?
I think knowing this contingency of like her basically thinking or of like I think in the documentation it's like all said and done she is essentially a knight, but like her first mission is to come with us on this trip.
Who is she being enlightened to?
Does she care much about that, or is it more just that she wants to?
Does it seem like she cares much about that?
Doesn't really.
Okay.
I think it could. I mean, in the 7 years.
Now you're offering her one of Lachlan's mechs, so be careful before you answer this question.
Yeah. I mean, I'm mostly offering her Lachlan's mech because that's the one we currently have. But I would give her the options of like, you can't
have it permanently.
Right. You can. Yeah.
Do you show her this contract?
That's kind of the intention of like the final statement of like.
She takes a pen and she marks out whoever's name's there. Doesn't matter whether it's you or Lachlan or Tamari. And she writes in a new name.
Okay.
She writes that she will swear as a knight of Duchess Harmony Lake. She wants to be the first knight of the Lake household.
Oh, man.
And now we make the negotiation roll and we see where we end up here.
Okay.
On a 15, you're locked into a yes or no on this. With every 2 points of improvement over that, you can change some part of the deal here.
Okay.
I'm just throwing this out there. And obviously, you shouldn't let it take up too much of it. And this is like more of like a Sam opinion than a Lachlan opinion, but like, we don't fucking need her at all.
No.
So like, I would not be afraid to just walk on her. Like,
yeah, no. And I think this is like,
like obviously see how you do on the negotiation roll, but like, this isn't like a crucial moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's not like a huge deal if we don't have this person.
No, and I think,
but for her, this is her entire life. This is her one-shot opportunity to get everything she can.
Right, and that's what we call leverage, AP.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I think, so I agree with you. And I think we're going to go ahead and just do this roll. But I think the contingency here is that
well, like even if you fail the roll, it sounds like you can walk.
You can still say yes, no.
We're locked into a yes or no.
You're not locked into the contract if you don't want to be.
Okay, so this is basically not us signing, but more us like negotiating.
Yes, that's why it's a negotiation rule.
That makes sense. All right. Ooh. I can re-roll. I know. I can re-roll that though. It was so close to a 6.
It was nowhere close to a 6. It was
close to,
what's your
negotiation? Close to a 4.
It's plus 8. It's 8.
Oh yeah, so just re-roll 13. It. I mean,
yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and re-roll.
Okay. That's it. You're locked into whatever. Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, that's much better.
That's an 18.
All right. So if you wanted to spend a point, a plot point, you can bump that up to a 19 and change 2 things about the current level of contract.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, I mean, one of them is who she enlightens herself to, right? And then another thing is whatever you want it to be.
would Lachlan be cool with me? Well,
claiming another knight. The problem, do you have an open territory to support a knight with?
I mean, it's been 7 years, so you tell us like a little bit more.
That much has not changed. Peace,
Okay.
peace has not made you rich. War makes you rich.
Fair enough.
You guys are cyber nobles in the Battletech universe, you know.
Yeah. I have I have the 2 permanent assets from my knights, I think. So no, I don't have. Well, yeah, that was the one thing that I was expanding.
I'll let you take her as a knight, but if you have not gained another asset by the end of the year, your house will be in financial collapse.
Oh fuck.
I have an open land. I've just been using it to make money for myself instead of for. We both got 2, and I took Sir Tirsaron as my 1 asset, and then left 1 open.
So I think Anka would make the smart play here and make sure that Lachlan had the second knight.
Okay.
And it also ties into like the Griffin, or not the Griffin. The
other thing to consider is like the original plan we made was that she would be replacing Badger, which would mean that she'd be Tamari's knight.
Correct.
That's true.
So this is if you sign her over to Lachlan, you are kind of fucking over Tamari if we do end up getting rid of.
Yeah, I think
Badger. Just be aware that you are doing that.
I think that then it makes sense that we would just leave it at Tamari and not be under either one of us.
I think Tamari would be pretty surprised if you forced her to enlighten someone to replace somebody else.
Okay, so I have 2 ways of changing the deal, right? Yeah. So I think one is that should because replacing Davies would mean that Davies would either enlighten to Lachlan. So I think that's kind of, and
I think you're overstretching how much he wants to be a knight.
Who,
he has
Davies?
A battle mech, and Philip Davies, and by the way, he's not the head of his family, you know, like
his daddy is.
Yeah, you're gonna ruin his family if you force Marianne to become the new knight of the family.
Right, I'm confused here. Yeah, so I'm trying to. Okay, so my goal here is to basically create a situation where one replaces the other, or they get the.
If you want to do that, you got to talk to Tamari at some point, or you just have to kill Philip while you're out on the trip.
Right. So how about this? You spend both of your 2 changes.
Yeah.
And the deal is that we address the knighthood issue when we get home.
I'll accept that.
She gets it's a confirmation that she'll become a knight upon return, but we'll decide how, like the formality of what that looks like once it happens.
Sounds good.
I like that.
Done deal.
Okay. Good. I'm glad we could go. It's like, all right, let's
get this out. Let's go. Yeah.
Look, she's a hard bargain negotiator. She runs a mech bay, and people definitely want to save every penny they can here. I want to jump back to Jasper as these conclude.
Yeah.
And ask what you're looking to do to rebuild your mech company.
Jasper's not really doing much except rotting in the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sitting in the ground.
I have to update the overlay. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
No problem.
What is
Let me know if he needs to make
doing?
a roll.
What is Yusuf Wheat doing?
Roll to rise. Rise.
Yeah.
Little did you know, everyone, we pivoted into some sort of necromancy survival.
Yeah,
that's
he's
actually
a Death Lord.
That's how true legacies are born.
There is a canon Halloween episode called The Nightmare of Necromos in Battletech, which involves zombie battlemech pilots.
Yeah,
and it's
really?
completely canon. Yes.
Isn't more than the Black Carapace thing? The Marauder?
I don't know what Black Carapace is.
Little did you all know that the Warhammer 40K universe was just a apocalypse dystopian world of
Battletech.
Right.
What is Yusuf Wheat doing to rebuild his company? Does he have a particular infantry surge infantry, pick up some cheap tanks while he can, or try to.
I gotta buy whatever I can that's in stock, right?
Right. The other problem is, of course, you're about to go on a dropship journey. The more infantry you have, the shorter that journey will be. The more people you bring rather than mechs, the more food, water, heat, oxygen, etc.
I need no, my company needs ballast, like I'm heavy on the techs and not enough on the parts. So I'm definitely bringing parts, bringing vehicles, bringing things for my crews.
Seriously, if you needed to, would it be something wise for us to kind of reinforce the protections of our families with any mercenary infantry that's left over?
That's literally what I spent the beginning of the session doing with Lachlan.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
That's literally the point of it. So no, you're on. You got it. No, you got what I'm trying to do. No. I'm glad that my plan is sensible because you apparently independently arrived at it. So like, that's good.
Let me offer you.
That feels good.
Let me offer you 3 options.
Yeah.
Okay. Option 1, you gain 1 standard inner sphere lance. That's 2 light mechs, 1 medium, and 1 heavy or assault.
Done. No, give me the other one.
Option 2 is a mixed set of federated Commonwealth vehicles, tanks, light and medium vehicles. Nothing you wouldn't be surprised to see, scimitars, that sort of thing. Option 3, a full battalion of infantrymen, including a company of special anti-mech forces.
I mean, that does sound sick, but honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. The concept of bringing out about 97 infantry troops in a fight, and playing it on virtual tabletop simulator, I can't do that to Sam's computer.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point.
A battalion is much bigger than 97 guys.
I know it's like what, 3 companies? Yeah, yes. No, which are each are like 3 platoons. Yeah, no, I'm glad. No, thank you.
If people think our move turns take too long now. Yeah.
Assuming there's also not like auxiliary shit. Yeah, no.
Especially the fact that we've taken a break.
No, give me. I'm like, like looking at like a Burger King menu right now. I'm like, give me a commando, a spider, and
give me a medium.
Let's go fancy here. Give me an enforcer. Give me the workhorse of the Davians.
Yeah. All right. What about a heavy or an assault?
I can't get a Victor, can I? Can I get like basically the dad of the enforcer?
No, I think that Victors are
Victor. Like if anything's available, okay. If there's any mech that's available in the Federated Suns on the assault class, it has to be a Victor.
When does the current Victor come out?
What were the
Victor is just an enforcer but bigger. Someone looked at the enforcer, were like, those would be cool, but can we make it bigger?
What were some of the mechs that were like in the least disrepair? In the bay that she had.
Give me a blackjack because I want something useless.
Wow. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding
here.
Definitely a commando. Definitely give me one of them commandos. That's for sure. That's an anchor. That's an anchor light unit. Give me that one.
Commandos out punch their weight class pretty heavily.
Mm-hmm. Can I get? I can't get a panther, right? No, I don't want a panther.
I feel like Panther and salvage would definitely be possible.
Yeah, no, I'm okay.
Commando and
you
Panther
could do
working
an awesome
side by side.
For your heavy. You really can't go wrong with an awesome.
Yeah, I kind of don't want an assault though. I kind of want just like some normal stuff.
Because we have a lot of assaults in our contingency.
Right.
Well, an awesome an awesome a heavy, not an assault?
Well, heavy and assaults. We have a lot of heavy and assaults, so it might be good to get some lighter ones to move around and pepper.
Yeah.
I could offer you an awesome AQ if you want.
No, I don't want to. I don't want this heavy stuff. Give me no. I'm gonna diet. Give me a Centurion. Give me the workhorse mech. Enforcer, Centurion, Commando, and another light mech is like the core 4 I want. I want something small.
What about a Wolfhound?
Ooh, are they available?
Yeah.
Give me one of them. I love Wolfhounds.
So just know it's not the Wolfhound 2, it's the Wolfhound 1.
So it has a large laser and like 3 mediums, right?
Yeah, it has a standard large laser and standard heat sinks, not doubles.
Yeah, so it's gonna like die. Yeah, that's fine.
Jenner.
Like Jenners.
You can upgrade it to the Wolf 2 once the double heat sinks
You
come
can
out
get
in a
for a
couple
large
years.
fry. Yeah.
For a large fry. Yeah, we're getting to the bargain menu now.
I'm okay. Do I want? I mean,
It's the
you
keto
can get
diet
another
menu.
crab.
nah, crabs are
Well,
special.
crab action.
No, there's something special about owning a crab that I caught myself. I don't want to just buy one. No, Wolfhound. Let's just do the
Okay.
Wolfie.
You want the Wolf 1B where it swaps the rear medium laser to the forward?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay. So make sure you've written all of this down, but you're taking a period correct enforcer, commando from the Lyrans, Wolfhound, and Centurion.
Yeah.
You basically grab whatever's available.
Yeah, those are all like
if I had
workhorse.
Pondo on speed dial, I would get him in here to do a little Melvin scene, but
Yeah, for sure. Like
Instead,
I basically, these are the Amazon mechs. You know what I mean? Like these are not specialty mechs. These are available everywhere. Is kind of the thing I want.
I feel like what happens is as Lady Khan is leaving the mech bay, somebody is packaging up the enforcer in the corner
Yeah.
with like a giant label that says for Yusuf Wheat delivered to.
Is it somewhere nearby? Melvin's like, well, golly, I made my sales for the month. Hit my quota.
Is it weird? Is it weird to be a Fed rat with a commando? Is that messed up?
Nope. Lachlan has
Okay.
specifically been reaching out to the Lyrans to turn this planet into a Lyran destination tourist spot.
Right.
Also, the Lyrans offloaded a bunch of their shitty mechs and vehicles onto this planet while they upgraded their core systems. You know, they were when the AFFS, the AFFC, right? They were like, hey, we need, you know, if you want a shiny new company of Hell Memory Core stuff, you're gonna have to give stuff up. And they're like, just send Whitting in our garbage. Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
I want the new stuff.
Yeah, we're a junkyard for sure. That's perfect.
So you're saying that we're buying Lyran military aftermarket
Yes.
to arm our
discount.
defense forces?
Yeah.
I love it. So that what does that mean? Like all my like operating systems and shit are in like Mandarin?
No, they're in German.
Yeah, they're in German. They're in German.
They have anime girls
like that.
posted around the
machine
inner
gun
cockpit.
I like the idea that since it's Battletech, though, they're all in English, just with like heavy German accents.
Yeah, no, it's
There's
all
umlauts everywhere for no reason.
Yeah, it's all just IKEA furniture names.
Oh my god.
Blast with like the A with the double umlaut. Yeah.
We're sorry
Now
to
it is
anyone
time
that
to
speaks
turn
these
on
languages.
Please push the start engine button.
I do like the idea that the computer voices are all,
Yeah.
you
All
know,
Austrian. Yeah.
That's the most like Russian
Target
accent.
has been acquired.
okay, glorious
We are
bastards.
German nihilists, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's
Oh my god, that's so good.
Oh
So-
man.
All right, so apparently I've acquired. a
No, I
commando.
was about to say nice big Lebowski call out.
Let's talk about the final thing we need to do, which is selecting which, if any, jump and drop ships will be accompanying you. You, of course, have
Final. I
access
have
to
a bunch
one
more
drop ship
stuff
and
to
one
do.
jump ship.
I
Well,
don't
I mean,
know
I
about
guess you could
final,
get
but-
all of you could get
bows.
all of your drop ships, Lady Khan. But if you do so, there's no space on your jump ship to carry other people's stuff. You'd just be bringing all of your troops with you. And that's all your jump ship can carry right now is your entire military complement of the Admiral's men. Sir Tyr
and
Sauron
my-
has indicated that he will not dock to a pirate's ship and will not, you know, answer to
An admiral, but yeah.
but Admiral is not a word he would ever use to describe that man.
Sure.
And frankly, Lachlan probably I don't know that Lachlan will even take this trip without Tyr Sauron, because if Tyr Sauron wasn't there the last time we fucking tried to rob a Starleague cache, we'd all be fucking dead.
Yeah,
that's true.
So you have to make a decision as to which jump ship captains you'd like to bring. Of course, you have your local Frenchman, but Tyr Sauron will not dock his ship there, right? You have a wolf and a goat and a potato, and you have to get them all across the river. You can only bring 2 at any given time. No one knows that.
I don't know. I know the problem, but I don't.
Yeah, you can't leave the wolf and the sheep alone. Something like that.
It's the dog, the chicken, and the grain.
Okay, well,
because the dog eats the chicken.
It's the same story with different names.
AP gave the Slavic version. It's fine.
Wow,
it's true.
Okay, so I feel like this is mostly an Anko decision, though, isn't it? Wasn't that originally the thing?
No, because you're hiring a second. You're hiring a second jump captain or jump ship admiral. Or
in addition to LeBeau.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I have a jump ship, which
you
gets
also
a lot
need to
of
make a
other forces.
decision as to whether you're going to bring Captain Idaho, Rhode Island, Kentucky.
The jump
He's
ship.
the Confederate dropship captain.
Right. What? Oh shoot! I have notes on him. What was it?
You sent a private investigator to get more information about him.
Right.
I have so little understanding of how all of these logistics work.
You need a really big ship that other smaller ships dock to. The big ship is what moves people through space to another location.
Okay.
So right now,
the pilots that we have currently are Morgan Griffin, who will pilot her Hunchback, Lachlan, who will take his imp, Anko, who will take her Grasshopper, Yusuf will take whatever mech he has.
Who's piloting? I have my Archer, but like who's piloting these 4 mechs I got?
I assume you have pilots, but if not, you can hire 4 random regular Mechwarriors.
Then can I come up? That means I can come up with their names and call signs.
As long as Sam and Eddie come up with Yusuf's call sign.
Oh,
yeah, that's totally fair.
Didn't we already have one for him?
I thought so.
For Yusuf?
There was a discussion. I don't know if we ever settled on it.
Airball would be pretty good.
How about with?
That's why I say airball because like fucking.
Sheep. If we're making it up, I vote Black Sheep.
Holy
shit! That's like so on the nose. All right.
Yeah, I mean it's a fucking call sign.
Yeah. Okay.
It's supposed to be on the nose.
Or flat
call me Black Sheep.
Black Scorpion.
And I also have a knight that I would be bringing. So I have at least.
So that's 13 Mechwarriors, which is more than can fit on Tyr Sauron's.
Fucking many.
Well, that's because Jasper's bringing 7 other Mechwarriors with him.
Oh right.
Jasper's bringing
so we
his
need both
current company,
ships.
which is 8 mechs. Well, 7 mechs and 1 scimitar.
Would it
so
make
we
sense
need the Confederate class dropship, basically.
It would. So the other thing to remember is that you need to bring supplies with you, and you can't put supplies where giant battlemechs are.
Mm-hmm,
so more dropships means more food, water, oxygen, and a space to bring stuff back with.
Yeah.
Right?
So we'll definitely
Let's say you find a lance of mechs. What are you gonna do? Leave Jasper there? Leave Yusuf.
Maybe Morgan doesn't come with us. Maybe she stays at home to guard the home front and like take care of stuff. Because she's a trusted ally, and B, we have too many. I don't want to have big mech battles anymore. Having 12 mechs on the field sounds miserable after that last big battle we did.
You now have 12 mechs in one dropship. That's all the Union can hold. It's totally full. It can carry 2 aerospace fighters, which it already has. That's used for self-defense.
Okay, so we're definitely hiring that captain.
Confederate class dropship.
Idaho, Kentucky, Mississippi, or whatever.
I mean, Idaho,
Rhode Island, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I vote that our other hire is the military kind of asshole dude.
Expensive, and pain in the ass, but militant and gets shit done, right? It's kind of the atmosphere that we got.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a conversation with him, or you just want to hire him sight unseen?
Didn't we already have a conversation with him at one point?
That was the first thing we were going to do this episode.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
All right, well, let's do that. I have so many more scenes that I was trying to do before we leave. Oh, well. I still need to talk to Philip Davies and the Duchess, but okay, so yeah, let's do the drop ship captain, I guess.
All right. You find yourself seated across from the captain. He is invited you to speak with him at, he's like rented an office building room. Just to be clear, like one room in an office building for operations while he's here. And he stares across a sheet metal desk towards you. Broom mustache, you know what I'm talking about there? Steely eyes, huge, comically huge eyebrows. You'd almost think that he and Tyr Sauron were related and how much they both seem like they could be New English ship whaling captains.
Yar.
He puts out 2 glasses of water, one for each of you, with a packet of graham crackers as well. Then nods and lets you, choose whether you want to eat or talk first.
Lachlan's just waiting for him to say something.
He's waiting for Lachlan to say something. He just sits back comfortably in his chair, just kind of wiggles in it.
So, we have a job and we think you could be the right man for it. What do you think about working for me?
I think that if you want to put your Mechwarriors on board my ship, you need to understand several things. We operate on a very serious schedule with a very serious series of watches. We're serious men who do serious things. We do not allow for frivolity on board. Diet is strictly regulated. Fornication is strictly regulated. Entertainment is strictly regulated. Anything which provides any man or woman with too much stimulation is bad for them. You get out into the periphery, you stare deep into space. Sometimes your mind doesn't come back. You have to make sure that your mind is steel and sharp. When you're on Dawson's Christian, you'll find yourself a member of its crew, because everyone aboard my jump ship will also work. I find your terms acceptable, and I'll only be asking for 15% of the salvage rights of whatever we find.
15% is fine. However, we'll have to talk a little bit. I understand your ship's requirements, and I'm more than happy to work within them, but there will need to be dispensation for the nobles aboard. Myself and the Duchess shall not be working with your crew. I mean, or I didn't realize Anko was there, but yeah, he would include Anko. I mean, it's like, he doesn't want any of the nobles working. Like, that's just anathema to Lachlan. Like, it's like the nobles are not going to like be working with the crew. It's not going to happen.
Explain to me the operation we'll be undertaking.
My late wife found a signal. A ship that I believe has Star League era technology, likely Battlemechs, likely information on general manufacturing and industrial operations from the time. Things that can...
He's heard all this before. Oh, I want to find a rare piece of Star League technology at the edge of space.
I mean, that's all Lachlan has, isn't it?
Are there any other forces coming with us?
Yes. Admiral. I mean, Lachlan will just like explain the whole what he's looking to do.
So you're looking for my ship to act as a cargo jump ship. Bring things back.
Yes.
And if you want your nobles not to work, don't attach yourself to my jump ship. You stay parked to Mr. LeBeau's ship.
Is that like a problem logistically if we just like have Tyr Sauron be with him and the nobles stay with LeBeau?
No.
Other than
Tyr is probably not going to be thrilled with this, but you will need to get another dropship to carry the nobles and their mechs aboard LeBeau's ship. Or though, again, you could just have LeBeau turn over one of his current dropships.
Can we use the Confederate class?
The Confederate can carry 6 mechs. You would be entrusting your fate to Captain Kentucky.
I am very confused by these logistics. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I wasn't paying enough attention.
Well, I think also answering the question, and we don't need a scene for this just to save time, of Kentucky, and although what is his name? Dick?
Duke Dick, Private Eye?
Duke Dick, Private Eye.
Okay, wait.
As much as I want to hear his character more, basically we had an investigation going to make sure that we could trust.
As I showed in that first scene, Duke is too busy running from the law to report back on what he might know.
Oh, fuck.
If you recall, he is busy being chased by local internal security forces.
Okay, never mind. So we don't know.
Explain this to me. Couldn't we put like all of the mechs and the techs on like the place where they fit, and then just have like because like the people who are like nobles and think that they're above manual labor because they're assholes, all just like that's like a handful of people. So like I don't understand why.
Whenever you want to get to, let's say you want to land on a planet and get your mechs out, you'd have to use a shuttle to transfer between the 2 ships. That's the only thing.
Is that not something we have?
You certainly do. You can do it. There's no problem with that. It's a little unusual, but it's not unheard of.
I mean, and it makes sense that we would have the nobility mechs on their ship, as well as maybe having whatever else we need to have for the nobility.
Right, because even like the vast majority of these mech pilots are not nobles.
Right.
Correct.
Like
so
really
we would have them in a separate dropship. We'd have the other like supplies.
Mechs, they've got all their shit, and so basically all that needs to happen
is the empty one for like whatever we want to bring back.
Here's my question: is Yusuf count as a member of the nobility or not in your eyes?
No.
Your answer on this could very well change the way that politics on Whittington operate.
Yeah.
If you recognize him as a noble.
Lachlan would, because we have established like numerous times that Lachlan is like very pro. He's like very pro like illegitimate child rights.
Yeah, I wonder why he would be.
Relatively speaking.
Very well. This too will be remarked upon in your absence.
But like it makes sense, right? I mean, like Lachlan married to a non-noble, like he had a daughter that he legitimized. Like it's very on brand. So
sure. Okay, you can lock all this in. You will need to take Captain Kentucky into somebody's service. You don't necessarily have to make him a knight. He does require a pardon for any crimes technically the ship committed by his father.
This sounds like an Onco. That sounds like an Onco situation.
A second chance, yeah.
So just to remind you, his father was involved in smuggling the last of Bassett's children and wife off planet to Valentia.
Right. Okay. That's why
technically there is a warrant to seize the ship, right? And his father is wanted for crimes. He's asking for a pardon for the ship, not for his father.
Would it be within my rights to basically I mean, this sounds cold, but I feel like this is kind of where we've gotten to. Is it within my rights to seize the ship as part of this fleet or as part of Anko's like repertoire? And the captain is like basically the clemency that Anko is giving is that the captain continues to serve.
You were
this
dragooning
ship.
him into your service.
It's called civil asset forfeiture.
Yes, what you're doing, you can do, but it is illegal in the Federated Suns.
Oh,
To
okay.
steal someone's property and then force them to continue working on it. A lot of people call that slavery. Whatever you and Lachlan want to call it is a different matter.
I'm not. So like my
that sounds like the
Suns
foundation of economics in the most violent way possible. Yeah.
The Federated Suns has a takings clause. Like there's like the principle that like the government can't just appropriate people's property. I'm actually genuinely
You
curious,
have a
'cause
right to property.
Yes. No, like the Federated Suns is like extremely fucking like
Freedom.
Yeah, like very, but also in like the neoliberal, like Hayek version because it's the 1980s.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. Like
So, like,
when I
that's
say
what
the
they're into.
takings clause, that's like it's a Fifth Amendment thing where basically the government can't just like seize your property without
right.
Yeah.
You can't just. I mean, look, you can seize the ship. The ship has a warrant against it, and the ship can't show up in court with a lawyer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wanted because the ship has been used as part of a crime. It's evidence.
Yeah.
Right.
You cannot force Captain Kentucky to continue working on it after you steal it from him. You technically would need to take the ship to court.
Yeah. So my intention wasn't to force him, but we were going to hire him. So he's going to get paid. You're going to hire him, but seize the ship as like a means of basically getting around that loophole.
I think the point AP is getting at is he's not going to want to work for us if we steal his ship.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
He's literally trying to get a pardon so that you don't steal his entire familial wealth.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I think we should just give him the pardon. But while you think about it, do we want to try to sneak in a quick scene with either Philip Davies or the Duchess?
Let's do it. Why not both? Just do them at the same time.
I think probably, I don't know. What do you think, AP? Which one are you more interested in?
I'm interested in your conversation with the Duchess because we haven't seen her in years.
And that's what I think too. We have not seen our 15-year-old Duchess yet. So yeah, I think one of the things that we've established is that even though like Lachlan in all the meaningful ways has kind of usurped her power, he's still like ostensibly like acts as though she's like the real power. So like unlike everyone else we've seen, Lachlan would gladly like go to her, right? Like he would meet in her sort of like noble estate or whatever, her seat of power. And I'm imagining this is very like, kind of late Russian Empire where like the czars are like ostensibly still in power, but they're just kind of little, it's like it's all play acting, right? But yeah, so Lachlan will go and he'll probably like when he's like let into her I don't know, she wouldn't have a throne room, would she? If she's like a duchess.
I mean, she has the capital seat of power, of course, but I think what's more likely is you're going to catch her being trained in something, education, whether it's in mech operations or economics, someone reading The Prince to her.
Yeah, okay. I love the idea that like, he comes in like while she's like learning some like horrifying noble-centric political philosophy that Lachlan like probably entirely subscribes to. And he'll probably like without like saying a word, he'll just like kneel to her and wait until she gives him leave to like rise and begin speaking.
Now, let me be clear here. All right. Battletech in 3025 is the future of the 1980s, correct?
Okay. But also they have kings.
The year is 3028. She's wearing on the back of her seat, she's taken off her denim jean jacket so that she won't get too hot. She's wearing like cardigan that's like tartan, and a skirt that's got like buttons from the waist all the way, and a double pattern of buttons from the waist all the way down to the knee.
So she's an 80s prepster.
Her hair is like flock of seagulls, you know, huge, floofy. She's got a trapper keeper. And she's tapping her pencil when you come in, and she gestures toward the teacher.
Trapper keeper?
She's making the cool S as well because she's not paying attention in class. She gestures to the teacher and says, "Leave." And then she recognizes you and says, "Stand, Chancellor." She's tapping her pencil annoyedly. I imagine that for some reason she is also chewing gum.
Yeah. I think Lachlan, like once he's given leave, he'll flip a chair around and sit on it backwards so that he can rap with it like a cool kid.
My God. Amazing.
Oh gosh. And he'll be like, it seems you're not entertained by your studies, Duchess.
I find your political theories to be a bit outdated. We're looking for a more modern, federated Commonwealth society. I'm not looking to subscribe to 200-year-old. It's fine. I'm going to find better teachers soon.
Learning about the past helps educate us about the future. I don't have you learn these things to try to force you to believe one thing or the other, but to be able to understand the bevy of options that you have to pick from.
You didn't come here just to talk about my education. What do you need?
I actually did, Your Highness.
She seems surprised at the back talk. She pops her gum and turns towards you, slowly chewing it, trying not to roll her eyes.
But not your education here. The much more important one that you're undergoing at all times. It's not long before you take the reins of this planet. And though it'll be a bit longer after that, it won't be terribly long before me, the other barons that you're used to seeing run the Senate, will all be gone in not too long. You've never left Whittington, have you, Duchess?
She looks at you with a slight glare and says, "You know that I haven't." Are you saying
I'd like you
we're
to.
going on a trip?
If you want, if you agree, you are in charge here, Duchess. I am going on a voyage to find something that my late wife discovered a long time ago before she passed. Should be an opportunity not only to see the deep periphery, to experience life aboard a ship, and to meet quite a few people that you may not meet otherwise. But most importantly, we're likely to find things of great value, things that you may not ever see again. You weren't old enough to remember the last time I went and did something like this, but despite our losses, the treasures we brought back are not inconsiderable.
All right. She leans back, curling a strand of hair, and goes, "No shit."
No shit.
Okay.
If you're going to come with us, you have to understand there's likely going to be times where things get dangerous. You're going to have to listen to me.
Oh, listen. She's very good at pretending she's listening to you right now, and will obviously agree to anything you're about to say while immediately forgetting that she agreed to it in a few minutes. But please go ahead.
Of course. I mean, look, she's a 15-year-old. I think
She's a 15-year-old who's coming out of a early 90s sitcom.
Coming out of an early 90s sitcom and has had everything she ever wanted, like
Handed
everything
to her,
handed
yes.
to her, and no one says no. Yeah, no, I got it. She's a real princess, this one. Yeah, Lachlan will say, all right then. Pack whatever you will need. We may be gone for quite some time. Certainly months, potentially even years.
She plays it off
begin your
cool.
mech training. You'll begin your mech training in that time as well. Though I don't anticipate you'll ever be fighting in any battle mechs. It's good to appreciate something that all nobility in our Commonwealth should understand, in my opinion, at least.
Okay, she continues to try to play it off cool, but when you say battle mech training, she's starting to lose that facade and almost seems excited as she leans forward and says, I get to use my Lancelot?
We'll have to talk about that. The Lancelot may have to stay here, but certainly by the time we're bringing you back, I'll make sure that we can do a few exercises.
She goes, no, I want my Lancelot. I want my battle mech. That's what I should be training in. Look, everyone tells me it's a special mech. I should be training to use it if it's that special.
Do we have room? Like logistically, is that like something that I can actually make happen?
Yeah.
I thought we were like pretty much.
You're pretty close to being full, but you could bring it. Now, just as a reminder, this is the Star League era Lancelot with a Star League Neuro helmet as well, so it's pretty much one of the best mechs on the planet right now. Will also be extremely easy to handle since it just reads the brain inputs of the pilot.
Yeah, I think that's what Lachlan will say. Lachlan is going to say, we can bring the Lancelot. You'll need to learn how to train on something else. It's the reason that mech is special makes it a crutch. You need to learn how to walk without the crutch.
She's not listening to anything you're saying. She's holding in her hyper-poggersness.
But yeah, well, Lachlan can bring the Lancelot. That's fine.
All right. After you leave, she jumps up from her chair and starts doing like a random ass dance as like Saved by the Bell theme plays or something. I don't know. What's like a good 90s teenage sitcom? Maybe not Saved by the Bell, because that's all like 30-year-olds playing.
No, 80s.
It's 89, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What's the one? Oh no, that's Saved by the Bell is the one where they like recast people every now and then, right? When they got like too old.
I don't know. They were in like their mid-20s to 30s.
That's
just like Power Rangers.
Boy Meets World.
Oh no, no, what was it? I'm not gonna come up with it. Anyway, yeah, I think actually, but like I think like I don't know exactly what you would say, but and maybe I need to make a roll for this, but I want like the implication of this to be like look at how great Lachlan is for like making this happen for you. Like there's nobody else who would like make this happen.
Let's make that
if
roll.
not for Lachlan, no one.
Let's
would
make
be
this
doing
incredibly manipulative role on a teenage girl.
Yeah,
please do so.
I am trying to look. Yeah, that's the game here. I have 3 years to get her to be completely okay with me fucking taking all of her power away from her. Oh, Lachlan is a horrible person. Okay, so what kind of role is this? Like, I think negotiation is the closest to manipulation, right?
I would accept negotiation, sure.
Protocol, negotiation.
How is this negotiation?
Acting.
How are you? Hold on. How is this negotiation?
I'll take
acting
acting.
Makes way more sense.
Yeah,
because it's like, how are you persuading this? It's in your best interest, rather than just kind of.
You need a 10 acting.
Okay,
Every
well, I have a
2
+6.
degrees of success will bring you great bounties.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ugh.
so that's an 11. I think we're gonna go ahead and re-roll that sucker.
Sure.
Wait, you didn't actually roll.
You're not. Yeah, you're not rolling
Oh,
it. You're
didn't-
hitting F to flip it. You need to hold R to roll.
Oh, I thought I was
Watson.
hitting R. There we go.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
That's better.
6 plus 6, that's 12.
You get more than just the bare minimum here. She definitely feels like you went a little bit out of your way to accommodate her, which is more than what she can normally get. So she does feel some small set of indebtedness to you for bringing her along and meeting all of her demands.
Good.
Maybe
good,
the
good.
old man's not so bad.
I mean, yeah, like Lachlan is always. I think the game Lachlan is kind of playing in general is sort of like constantly, basically trying to like lure the Duchess into sort of like a like comfortable complacency, right? Whereas like he wants to turn her into kind of like a Marie Antoinette style noble, where it's like just so totally removed from the kind of hardships of day-to-day life, and just like wanting to like retreat into this kind of comfortable bubble of not having to do anything you don't ever want and always being like avoiding conflict.
You want to
if
make
that
her
makes
into a
sense.
spoiled rich brat, and there's no one that's currently with the power to stand up to you to do that, which is why next time we're going to open up with whether or not you bring Badger.
Yeah.
Putting her and Badger on the same ship is going to be real fucking interesting for me. Because it's going to be a different voice than what she's used to. But we'll see how well this all works out for you next time. Take 5 experience points, everybody.
Ooh.
Juicy.
Let's think about any closing thoughts, closing words, ideas.
Yeah, I think so. I think thanks for all that information about kind of the law, the federated son law, and everything. I think there's like a no sense attitude that Anko has developed over the years of like just getting things done and making things happen. And so for this captain, like it's basically like, sure, we're pardoning you. You're coming with us.
Yeah, it's good to be back at it. Lachlan is rapidly becoming so evil that I'm going to have to hand him over to AP to play instead.
He's like, oh no, I can't play him. Now I have to play my kids. This is such a hardship for me. Oh no.
Look,
Playing like Lachlan. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, please.
I was gonna say maybe it'll be Lachlan's turn to catch like the stray bullet next time, and he won't make it out of the voyage. Who knows?
Nah,
he very nearly did.
My secret hope, I wrote it in our own Zoom chat. I want you to go full Macbeth. I want you to go full tyrant mode, and like there's a rebellion and stuff, and like you know, we got to find the Banquo guy, right? Or son of Duncan. What's it?
My plan for a while, I've said this in a few places, but my plan for a while has been to just like hand the tyrant McDougal over to AP so that I can play the rebellion against him.
Yeah.
I mean, I see. Sam wants to play Code Geass from both sides.
We're playing a microcosm of the inner sphere. It's actually what we're doing. So this is awesome.
AP, this is what I never actually managed to do with Vero Botaya. It was just like playing like slowly aggregating power until eventually I have to play the character to help murder him.
And that's actually one of the things that I was thinking about for Anko, because she had kids later on. So her kids aren't yet at age to where, maybe we would be able to stop time jump or whatever, and then they'd be of age.
After the next time jump, they'll be old enough.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll jump to like 47.
We'll talk about it maybe next time, but what are we thinking about? Kids probably staying behind with like a tutor or like household folks or what?
Sure. You got knights.
Yeah. Okay.
Love it.
Nothing like having your kids raised by pirates who've spent a decade becoming domesticated.
He's coming with us though.
Yeah, but he's not bringing. He's got dropships and dropships full of troops who aren't coming with him.
That's true.
You need those dropship spots so that if you find stuff, you can bring it back. Also, your husband. You might want to have an open dropship spot just in case you need to bring him back.
Nah, no, I don't expect that. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, you're just gonna leave him out there?
No, I'm looking for him, but I don't expect. No, we'll see.
Okay.
I'm looking.
You don't expect to
him.
find them. I mean, this is a tabletop role playing game. Conservation of details is important. We will definitely find him.
Conservation of details.
No, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Let me know whether we're good for next week or not.
It's Chekhov's husband. If you introduce a husband in Act 1, you have to pay it off in Act 2.
We've already introduced he's been on the show.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not like he just magically disappeared in the second season.
Thus, we have to pay off.
The payoff is that Soundwave gets to come back again. All right.
Great payoff.
Eric, you had posted, maybe it was on Twitter a couple weeks ago, about tactical manners and party management skills.
Oh yeah. Maneuvering. Yeah. A war game about being in a ball.
You may want to brush up on Jane's etiquette. That's all I'm saying for the next arc.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
Send some resources, Eric. I'm curious to see this game. Maybe we should do a side game, guys. I don't know if Eric has time.
No, the thing I was tweeting about is a genuine war game about being in a ballroom and not fighting, but dancing, pleasantry, manipulating around, like a ballroom tactical game.
Yeah, I agree that is what you tweeted about.
And you're saying this exists.
I am working on a mini game.
Oh.
I started writing something the night that you tweeted it.
Incredible.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
I think it would be awesome. I think there's a lot of cool missions there. Anyways, yeah. You can either do the... we can talk about this other.
Make sure you know your Victorian era etiquette is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Spoons, forks, manners, that sort of thing. All right, that's it. We'll see you when we see you, audience. Have a good time zone.